Anndi. I am a ICU nurse of 4 years. I've been on the road traveling since January of 2021. Kristen Strohmyer is my recruiter. I met Kristen at a very stressful time in my life. I was with a different company and I got canceled, and there was a lot of drama behind that, and I couldn't figure out why, like what was going on. It was like one of my first contracts, so I didn't really know what to do. One of my friends, Julia, had worked with Chris in the past, and she sent me her information. She spent hours with me on the phone because I had applied with a different company and gotten an offer, and she had submitted me to Washington, which was one of my top choices, but I hadn't heard back yet. So around 11 p.m. that night when she was still on the phone with me, I was like, you and I are just made for each other. I got to keep with this. And the next day I actually ended up signing with Atlas, and I have been loyal to her ever since. You have a lot more flexibility in your schedule. You decide when you want to take contracts, when you don't want to take contracts. There's a lot less drama involved as far as management. Another pro is you get to see a lot of different places. Prior to me traveling, I had only been to 2 states in the United States. Now I've gone through 7 or 8. One of the biggest pros for me though, coming out of being a staff nurse, was that I got to see how different hospitals are run across the country. The biggest con for me was my very first contract. I was literally so lonely. It was before I got Daisy. Just couldn't handle the isolation, I guess. And it being during COVID, I didn't really know what to expect or how to handle that. I would say that scheduling is difficult. You do not always get the schedule you want. You are here to fill a hole, and this is where our hole is, and you need to accept that. And that's part of being a travel nurse. Chris has been there for me in every aspect. If I just need someone to talk to about personal stuff, she's there. If it's work stuff, she's there. If it's about Daisy, she's there. I can't describe. And it really, there are no words to describe how great she is. I 10 out of 10 recommend her to pretty much anyone that I talk to. And I actually just signed one of my friends with her. Like I said, she goes above and beyond for all of her nurses, really. Packing, my God. Packing as a travel nurse is the single hardest thing I think about travel nursing. And it's not something that you would think would be hard, but for the most part, I don't go home that often, maybe once or twice a year. I extend frequently, and I like to be on the West Coast, and my home is on the East Coast, so it's just not a thing. So I had to really downsize into what I could take with me, and overpacking is so easy to do. And then while you're on assignment, you tend to collect things. When I first started traveling, I don't think that my advice would be the same as it is now. When I first started traveling, it was peak COVID. It was all about money and where could you get the fastest and the most hours, highest OT rate. And it has changed significantly for me over the last year and my goals for travel nursing. And I would say that as a first-time traveler, don't go into it for the money specifically. Go into it to see and experience new places. Take the opportunity to be able to go anywhere, do anything. Things are going to normalize in the market. They already are. And Louisiana was never on my list of places that I wanted to go. And it has been an awesome experience for me. I live in the French Quarter. I live 3 streets down from Bourbon. I have this amazing apartment. I just think things I didn't think would work out ended up working out. Also, extend. That would be my second piece of advice. Extend, because by the time you get through your first month or month and a half of being at the hospital, you're going to relax enough to want to go start seeing things, and then you're going to hit the end of your 13 weeks and you're gonna be like, oh man, like I'm not ready to go. What I discovered over the last year or two, and having been with a couple of different companies, it wasn't a terrible experience, except for that they didn't warn me about a lot of the stuff going into being a travel nurse as a baby travel nurse. I needed someone to hold my hand. Chris was the first person that has been there as a recruiter every step of the way, whether it's deciding what contract to apply for, narrowing down states that I want to go to, sending the little gifts of appreciation. Like when she sent me the cat tree for Daisy, I cried. Like it was the nicest thing that anyone has ever done. Alice, honestly, is Chris. So I associate the two with her because Alice has set up their recruiters in a way that it is very personable. And not a lot of other companies do that. I also think that having a company that has your back, and I felt this a lot more in the last couple of weeks when I was having a hard time at my old assignment, Atlas overall has had my back. Do I have ideas of where I want to go? Yes. New Mexico was on one of them because I wanted to do the Hot Air Balloon Festival. I would like to go to New York City at some point. California is one of my favorite states. I have my California license finally. Only took a year. So Stanford, I have looked at. I actually got a position with them that I turned down to take the position with Chris in Washington. I don't know. I'm open to anywhere. You know, she called me tomorrow and was like, hey, I have a contract in Omaha. Game on.